Hey, hi, this is Emmett Nash, and this is a demonstration of the battle system for DigiBrawl. This is a prototype, so it wasn't final, or it doesn't exactly represent what we intended for the final product to be. But sadly, this doesn't seem to be continuing any further, so I may as well just show how far it got. DigiBrawl is a turn-based strategy game where players would have a team of 3 monsters, and they would take on their friends who would also have a team of 3 monsters. But the way it would work would be asynchronous, so the game would randomly decide who gets to go first, and then it would kind of play out similar to Words of Friends, where you would have your go, then click send, then the master version would update, and your friend, then they could make their turn, they would update, then you would have your go. So you could, it's not a game you'd have to sit down and think, okay, I have to dedicate half an hour of my life to play this right now. There's ones you just be able to play on the go, have a couple of battles on the go with some friends. So say you're busy, and you just take that hour out of your day. Your friend will wait. So the way this works is there's 6 different types of monsters. There's rock, air, grass, water, electric, and fire. Each type does have their own weakness and strength. So for example, fire would be strong against grass and air, but it would be weak against water and rock. Then electric would be weak against rock, but it would be strong against water. So for every type you had a strength against, there was another type you'd have a weakness for. So like electric has 1 strength, 1 weakness, but fire has 2 strengths but 2 weaknesses. It's to kind of compensate for it and add a bit of balancing. There was no type that had more strengths than weaknesses, or more weaknesses than strengths, because then that monster could be kind of overpowered or underpowered, and that type would either be used too much or not at all. And you can see there's multiple tiles around here. So the colours indicate the type the tile belongs to, whereas the icon indicates what the tile is for. So if you see here, there's a green shield that indicates for grass types only. If they're on that shield, they'll get a defense boost. Whereas the brown claw here, this would indicate that for rock types only, they would get an attack boost. There's also grey versions here and here. They just indicate neutral. Any type can use those, but the boost wouldn't be as strong as the type specific tile. Sadly, in prototype stage we didn't get as far as implementing the damage boost, but we've put the tiles on anyway just to show that we could display them. That we got implementing the defense boost one. So, but the way it was supposed to work was you stay on the tile, you keep the boost, but the way it implements in the system for the prototype is sorry, let's enter in here. That if you get to keep it for that 1 turn, but you can leave the tile once you move on it. So say I move the air fairy back off, she still has the defense boost. Okay, so we'll get into different attacks now. So as you can see, first of all, I moved the fairy around, and the fairy is now faded. It's because they ran out of action points. It's down here, you have 3 action points per monster, and they can be consumed by moving around or actually doing attacks. The way the moving system is implemented in this, it kind of used a circular range, but for some reason the range system seems strange, where it doesn't take in the distance from left to right as being the same. So I'm guessing there might have been a mistake somewhere, and it's not using actual center of the tiles. I was lead artist on this project, and I did very little programming myself, so I I don't have that much knowledge as to how it was built. But that's only explanation I can think of. Okay, so moves also have ranges. So I'll actually end turn and get onto the other monster. I have a bit more time. So each monster has 4 attacks, and attacks have types. There is a neutral type, so there'll be everybody has that one neutral attack. The range in this is extremely short, and it only costs 1 AP. And when I say the range is short, like if you're not in this yellow field, the enemy's not being attacked by this. The range is that short. It's touching distance. Whereas this move here, Gale, is a bit longer. So I'll demonstrate this now. You can see there's the little particle effects moved over and did 6 damage. The damage is random, it's not a fixed amount. Like, there are strengths, but there's that little bit of a random factor, so sometimes it might do, say it might do 8, other times it might do 4. There's that little bit of give. So, and we'll demonstrate now here the lightning. And sadly, in this prototype, there was, each element did have its own colour for the attacks, but for some strange reason only air, fire and water seem to have their proper colours. Everything else is using the colour of a different element. And there are different types of attacks, like for example you can heal. The air fairy has a healing move which helps your team, so click on this, heal her a little bit. Sorry, the game's going pretty slow because of the screen capturing, and it bugged. I'm not sure how that happened. I did test this before trying this demo and it worked completely fine. I actually tried to do a re-recording. This is my second attempt because it failed the first time. Then it worked. So because I'm using a different browser, it's a browser-based game on Chrome. I can't even move these, so I don't know what's going on. So I'll just move on from that. I'll demonstrate the other type of attack. So healing didn't work; it glitched out. But Tornado here is a multi-hitting attack, and so it hits this monster several times. We wanted to have splash damage for monsters that were close to that attack to be hit as well, but we didn't get implementing that. And then sorry. Okay, then lastly, which was the big aspect of DigiBrawl, is that you may have noticed that the fire and electric dog are pretty much the exact same, just different colours. And then the water monster is similar to the hedgehog over here, and the snake. This is because DigiBrawl was to have a creation center where you could create your own monsters. So like the game would supply stock monsters. The stock monsters here are the snake, the air fairy, the hedgehog and the fox. And then so the electric monster here is an example of one type you could create, which is just a complete palette swap. And you could still be able to change the type of the monster, change the moves, change the name. The monster here is called Kittendall, or it's called Shocks. And then the water monster here is a combination of parts. So you might not be able to see it as well because the drawings are kind of small, but it has the head and tail of the snake, and it has the body of the hedgehog, but it also doesn't have the legs of the hedgehog or any other monster. It has no legs, similar to the snake. So this is just so you could have a lot of variety to your team, and put your own stamp on it. So kind of have your team be unique rather than you go pick out your favourite monsters, which you could do if you wanted, but you could just go go ahead and create your favorite monsters, or say the point of Shocks was that people would like Kindle, but they didn't really like the colors, or they didn't like the fire type. They didn't think fire was a good type. They preferred electric, so they could create their own electric version of Kindle. And so that's really what it was about. And you'd be able to upload your monsters onto the store, share them with your friends. They'd be able to download them for a pretty cheap price, or they could always create them themselves. But yeah, that was just one of the big points of DigiBrawl. It was custom. You could create your own team. Well, I've sat here talking long enough, so I'm just going to end this demonstration here. I mean, there's not much point. I don't see much point in me trying to actually kill these monsters now while I've been sitting explaining away. If you actually want to see some gameplay, like a proper battle of this, let me know, and I'll do one. Thanks for watching.